episode 543 of the TV Dudes, recorded June 13th, 2025. Government cheese. This week, we're back on our Patreon showrunner routine with John Paul's new pick, Government Cheese.
That's right. It's a quirky Apple show that JPV picked 4 episodes from, and boy, did we watch them.
Yeah, that's just too much government cheese in our diet.
Indeed.
But before we let you in on our thoughts and feelings about the cheese, I'm Nick.
I'm Les.
And we're the TV Dudes.
And you know, a show about a self-sharpening drill.
Is that what it's about?
Kind of. Anyway, it isn't all we watched. To the Diaries!
The Diaries of the Television Dudes. Brought to you by only the finest cocaine wine.
Well, I watched a few movies, weirdly, this past week.
We watched some Oliphant.
We did. We watched a little bit of Oliphant. I watched The Girl Next Door, which, I swear to God, if I was teaching a class on why structure is important for movies, this would be the one I would use.
Yeah.
Because throughout the movie, you keep having moments of like, oh shit, this bit is from this movie. This bit's also from this movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is also from this movie? Tim Oliphant's in this at 40 minutes? Like,
yeah.
There's so much good cast. There's so much charm. There's so many funny little bits. It walks a weird easy A line of like almost chaos. And you realize that it's so much of this is fixed in the edit. There's like the structure of this movie's fucked. Like, why does Tim Oliphant show up 40 minutes in? Like, when he should be in the first act, he is centerpiece to the energy of this movie. Like, there's just so many things where I was like, no, there's a reason I've seen this multiple times, but also there's a reason that I absolutely consider this movie to have been a failure.
Yeah, it's a weird. It definitely feels like an aughts comedy. It's weird. It doesn't really know its identity as a sex comedy. Like,
yeah, it's not really sure quite what it's
doing. And it
doing.
doesn't really have a central conflict until Oliphant comes in. And even then, it takes Oliphant to become the villain. It takes a minute for him to become otherwise, the central conflict is the girl I like did porn.
Right. And like, honestly, it's like midway through, somebody goes, hey, we don't really have a conflict. Just do risky business.
Yeah.
And like, so we're going to lose a bunch of money and have to get it back last minute.
Mm-hmm.
I, on the one hand, love this movie, but I realized as I was thinking about it that no, I start from a frame of this
nonsense.
Movie failed, and yet had so much good, like, going for it that it's still watchable. Yeah, I would seriously, I'd teach a class on Girl Next Door. I also watched Foolproof, which is a Ryan Reynolds movie from back before Ryan Reynolds could carry a movie.
That's right.
It is a Canadian movie that I think it's like an $8 million budget, and they got like $3.5 million in a grant from Canada, because Canada and movies, and it got complained about of like, hey, so Foolproof's fine. Like, this was literally like one of the reviews of it was like, this movie's fine. There's nothing really wrong with it. There's nothing really great about it, except that it took a grant that could have funded 17 other movies. And like, yeah. And the coldest line of it was that, and one of those movies might have had the missing ingredient here, a star.
Damn.
Fucking cold. But Foolproof is a weird heist movie. It's about a group of friends who plan theoretical heists, and like they run them in like a warehouse, like run up a Stairmaster, the amount of flights of stairs you need to go, then run over here and pick the correct lock that they bought and set up exactly like it'll be. Like they really make it tough, like so that you feel and they feel that their plan is the title of the movie. But they don't actually do it. They don't have fences. They don't know how to they don't actually steal anything. And so, of course, an actual criminal figures out that they have this stupid club and is like, yeah, guns to your head, steal that. You're fucking doing this. And so the whole movie is like this guy forcing them to do their plans when you know the entire time that they're foolproof in their way out of this. And it's not that it shocks you with the like double cross or the twist or anything. You know it's fucking coming. This is just a heist movie for people that really like heist movies. And the guy's not wrong. It's fine. And I love Ryan Reynolds. He's definitely in sitcom best friend era Ryan Reynolds here. This is pre-Blade Trinity.
Mm-hmm. Played Trinity.
And so, Foolproof was
his full entry into the Marvel Universe.
Indeed. He's in it now, baby.
Can't believe Wesley Snipes did not man, you seem familiar in that fucking Deadpool movie.
Right. I can't believe there's anything on the cutting room floor, but there's got to be. So Foolproof was okay. Also watched We're the Millers, which honestly I think Girl Next Door is funnier, but We're the Millers is pretty fucking funny. I had forgotten how.
Really, I remember really liking We're the Millers.
I really like We're the Millers. I was shocked that I was like, oh God, I'm laughing about as hard at Girl Next Door. But yeah, I also really like We're the Millers. It has some. Oh man, I'd forgotten about Will Poulter getting spider bit on the nuts. Oh, the whole movie's just fucking crazy. Also watched The Mortician, first couple of episodes on Max. It's a docu-series about this guy. He's the youngest in a family-owned funeral home, Lamb Funeral Home in Pasadena, California. Right. And as the youngest,
the one that had the big controversy.
So as his what he's going to do in the family business, he takes over their tiny little crematorium. They have like 2 ovens. And most funeral homes don't have a crematorium, so he starts contracting out to other funeral homes. I'll pick up your cases. We'll burn them here, and I'll return the ashes to you. Very quickly, they just start running the numbers on screen. Very quickly, he takes it up from like 100 a year to 1,000 a year cremations.
Yeah.
There's only so many that you can do correctly in an oven in an amount of time.
Yeah.
And he immediately is exceeding that just numerically. And then it doubles, quadruples, doubles again. Like by the point I'm at in the show, he's doing he started at 100 a year. He's at 4,000 something.
Yeah.
Same number of ovens.
Yeah.
And so it very quickly become people are definitely turning a blind eye.
The math on it suddenly is wait, how is this?
And then the crematorium burns down, which how the fuck do you even do that?
You'd figure that building would be pretty built to
It's just cinder blocks and 2 ovens, man. You hired 2 crackheads, and the guy goes off and smokes a bunch of crack. It's I was intending to go back, but I didn't. I got a call that woke me up that said, "Hey, man, there's crematorium's on fire."
What do you mean the furnace burnt down?
Right, it's insane.
How?
You would think maybe he would at least slow up the number of bodies he's picking up. No, we accelerate. He doubles down, and it is insane. I don't want to spoil what he does to keep going, but it's so fucked up. Man,
my thought would be shady stuff going on. I'm like, okay, cool. He can't be doing all the crematoriums there. My immediate thought was that okay, if I'm shady and I'm taking the business as the name because now I'm the #1 crematorium person. I'm just taking the name and I'm shipping them to the nearest other crematorium, and then just using the name ID.
So much worse than that.
And eating cost to just keep name ID, and maybe I'm not losing out on much of it, or having them pay me or having them pay the difference, and I just get a fee for using the name of but you said that a lot of a lot of more funeral homes around that time did not have crematoriums around them. So I'm assuming that, okay, even if you knew that market was tappable, how long does it take you to build and infrastructure a crematorium if you're a funeral home?
Yeah.
Probably more than 2 years.
I don't know. But yeah, he's been at this for a few years.
I think maybe a year to at least get one oven in there.
Well, one of the problems that he runs into is his backup plan he puts online too early, and it's it's just fucking horrific.
My God.
The whole thing is just crazy, and that's not even getting into popping chops and shit. Where people are talking about and it's popping chops is apparently the act in cremations, which is this is very immoral. Turns out not that illegal.
Sure,
but you pull all the gold teeth out of a corpse, but then you got to get the gold separate from the tooth, right? So you just got a styrofoam cup that's got AU or AG, like silver or gold, written on it, and you're just sitting in the garage with a hammer, like a fucking claw hammer, laying teeth on front of you. Hit the tooth, pick the gold up, put it in the styrofoam cup, sweep the tooth away.
All right, I'm not a mortician, but I feel like the sterilization and safety wise, a styrofoam cup is not. No, a metal dish. Something.
Just don't do that.
A styrofoam cup?
That's just horrific. Yeah, it looks so fucking sketch. They showed the cup. It was great.
Why all
of this is nuts.
Why do you need the tooth to separate so that all the parts of it? I'm pretty sure the family we didn't get the one tooth in there.
Oh no, this isn't for the family.
No.
This is just
just to grab the gold?
Yeah. No, this is a side hustle.
I thought they were just trying to damage the oven.
All the prosthetics, they don't burn. They pull them off the bodies.
Oh my God.
Any jewelry, just cut fingers off. Like they just chop fingers off.
I mean, you're sending your loved ones to get burned. Why are you putting jewelry in with them?
I don't know, but none of it can burn. But for just like lying and saying they were taking people out to see, like just a bunch of crazy shit. But all the teeth stuff is nuts. It just like the guy has no qualms about anything with bodies, and it's just bizarre. Little workplace competition about who can get the most bodies in an oven.
Oh my God!
You got to fold them up weird,
man.
Cut legs off and shit.
You don't want to have a competition at your workplace that you're pretty sure the Nazis at concentration camps also had.
Yeah.
Right. So employee of the month is done again.
A neighbor calls in at one point to complain because a building that shouldn't be cremating bodies.
The trick is finding a lot of kids to shove them in. Yes, we know, Stens. You're so good at it.
They asked like one of the police is like, so how did the neighbor, like, why was the neighbor so sure that smoke out of that chimney's wrong? And you're like, well, I mean, he's got this tattoo on his arm. He's pretty sure what it smells like.
Yeah.
And it was
this particular
apparently at one point
particular smell.
One of the neighbors that called the cops on him was an Auschwitz survivor.
Yeah.
And was like,
hey, yo.
Weird flashback I had this morning that I never thought I'd smell again.
Yo, hey, what's up? So
yeah.
If there's ever a time I got to use this skill for good.
Dude, the mortician is like, there's still more episodes to come. This shit is fucking crazy. I'm definitely going to watch more of it.
Now all I can think of is Nazis trying to beat each other in a Tetris game of stacking Jewish children in ovens. Mother of God.
It's just one blonde California dude and two crackheads, turns out.
Sure.
Gang members that he'd hired.
Right.
Yeah, those guys are fucking...
I'm assuming he didn't get medical...
all of them. They're all testifying. Like, they're all interviewing for the doc. It's hilarious.
I'm assuming they didn't get medical professionals to shove people into ovens.
Also watched a doc about becoming Led Zeppelin, which was pretty fun. The main cool thing about it that I'd never seen in terms of why do this doc compared to all the other things about Led Zeppelin over the decades, I don't think I'd ever heard John Bonham, the drummer, interviewed. He did apparently no interviews. He did not give a fuck about talking about the band. He was in Led Zeppelin. I don't need to talk to you about it. Let Robert do that. Or Jimmy or whoever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I'd ever heard that man's voice on recording before. And he, for being a drummer that I honestly imagine a circus bear behind a tiny kit, like that's John Bonham from Zeppelin, like he's beating that thing into the ground. He is a really like soft-spoken and sweet and kind and like, sure. Yeah, I really got to know the other fellas and we got to be friends. And,
the other fellas?
And like he's British obviously, but like just really sweet. And the coolest thing was that they got time with Jimmy Page and Robert Plant and John Paul Jones now, like each separately, but they got long interviews with each of them now, and they're playing the John Bonham interview for them and talking to them about it each individually. Wow. And you can see the real like there's a lot of times you watch Janet Jackson or somebody get like, you can tell that like their mask is up, they have their public persona on, and it doesn't drop, it doesn't crack. You can see all three of these guys like, oh man, you can tell they have not heard John speak in decades.
Yeah, was that the first time they're seeing that interview?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And it's just a recording, like it's just audio, but still,
they've
never heard. And so
that's words your friends have never.
Right.
You haven't heard.
It's right after the first U.S. tour, so it's really talking about like, yeah, we became a band and then we went on the road in like a month, and so it's very much his first year. Like, yeah, no, I really got to be friends with John or Jimmy or like. You can tell that they haven't heard him in years, and they've never heard him talk about how he felt about them in year one of Zeppelin.
Man,
I thought they were going to cry. Like it's very sweet. Actually,
that's not a bad idea for a movie, like for a bunch of comedians too. Like I would think like the worst thing about losing a friend is like, that's the last time I'm ever going to hear my friend tell a new joke.
Right.
I would have a comedian in a movie or a TV show like, that would be the conceit, is that like, cool. So I recorded a bunch of new jokes right before I died. Mm-hmm. You got, I'm going to release you a video once a year for 20 years. It's a new joke every time.
Oh, that's a great idea. Fucking
that's a fucking,
right. None of you fucks.
Copyright, bitch. TM.
TM. So yeah, becoming Led Zeppelin was cool. Also watched, speaking of Nazis earlier, watched The Order with Jude Law and Nicholas Hoult.
Sure.
About 1980s Oregon and Washington.
Those are some pretty fucking British people being skinhead. Fucking...
Yeah, man. American accent versus American accent. It's actually really good. It's pretty long, but it's disturbing and interesting kind of cop Nazi drama.
Yeah.
Went to the theatre and saw Bring Her Back by the guys that did the Aussies that did Talk to Me.
Right.
And that is one of the most vicious possession things I've ever seen. It reminds me of what I liked about Dark Song, that like a sad person looks and looks and looks, and in all of the woo bullshit in the world finds a thing that actually works.
Right.
And then at every single step of the way, it could not be more clear that you should not do this. Like, stop fucking doing this.
Hey, yo, yeah.
And yeah, man, by the time this kid is eating through his arm, like goes in for thirds, think the three people behind me in the theater somehow fucking hated it.
Yeah.
and I was like, guys, I don't know what people want out of horror movies. This is both brainy and gory and mean.
They want A24 fucking those people wouldn't.
These people
A24.
were mad. Yeah, I got what I wanted out of this A24 movie.
No,
they did not.
No, honestly,
they were sitting there going, "This is a third act."
Yeah,
this is a third act, sir.
I didn't pay for this. Well, because you described it as like that and Talk to Me are like movies that A24 didn't realize that they were making,
right?
Like, because otherwise they would have like fucked with them. Like,
right. Was Bodies theirs?
Yeah, I think
like
so.
Every once in a while they make a movie where you're like...
Every once in a while it feels like someone is like whatever the overseer of production is asleep at the wheel.
Right.
And they can sneak something by them.
Right. Because, I mean, this thing... I'm shocked A24 produced this. It is straightforward and mean and like nobody comes out great.
Well, I mean, we just saw them try and do a straightforward and silly comedy in Death of a Unicorn.
Dude, I kept thinking about Death of a Unicorn
that came
throughout
out
this.
As condescending and them treating the audience as stupid.
Yeah. And yeah.
So I really thought they couldn't do anything but high-minded, like, artistic
And I think it's
things.
just the Filippo brothers, or whatever their names are, these two Aussie kids. Because, yeah, man, I fucking dug Bring Her Back. If the three folks behind me... did not, you might be in their camp. I don't know. Your mileage might vary, but I dug it. Mm-hmm. And that's the other two things I watched are British detective shows I'll talk about in a minute, because one of them ties to an interview that we just dropped. But yeah, what all did you watch?
I mean...
You finished up Hacks as well, didn't you?
Yeah, so we watched the last two episodes. So since the ATX and we didn't really do... TV Diaries, and we just didn't really watch a lot of TV that week. We kind of
my diary's so weird that
so
week.
we're 2 episodes behind on like everything.
We're an episode behind on Duster right now.
Yeah, Duster, the latest episodes. You watched Ep 4 though, right? With the blade.
Yep. Sure did. The one that y'all saw at ATX.
At ATX Fest, yeah. And I think I talked about it a little bit on the pod on ATX Fest, but yeah, it's the episode where I feel like the show has become the thing that I like. Oh, this is all like what would you say? It's all right and on purpose.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. No, because it was just like an uncertainty of, do you mean this show to be in the real 70s or in like a 70s fever dream?
Yeah, because the set deck...
either one works for me, but I don't know where we are.
Right. The set deck and all the costuming, it all looks kind of like cartoony, but the plot lines and stuff really weren't acting like it.
Right. I wasn't sure how not screwball, but I wasn't sure how heightened this world was supposed to be.
Dude, has Donald Logue come back as the sheriff?
No, we've not
survived.
seen him. He survived, but we haven't seen him.
I suppose
they're
keeping that Chekhov's gun for later.
Right. And I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, you got the assassin, the Blade, that has like a Assassin's Creed hidden blade shit going on.
This one had a real character that felt out of Desperado, and I suddenly knew where we were.
Yeah,
and also it combined it with a truly beautifully done Roadrunner rip.
Yes.
Like, damn, guys.
They actually got Warner Brothers animators.
Looks good.
Also, I like that he stops the fight with the Blade at a certain point. Just like, you want to, they find a drink, like, you want to just stop in it. Apropos of nothing.
Yeah, like, they just happen to find a bottle of bourbon. Like, you want to?
You're trying to make your way up in the world. Like, yeah, it's a hard one. It's middle management. I know you got to get noticed. Like,
well, you could kill me, but it'd be unsportsmanlike. I mean, you just had a drink with me.
Yeah, and also, is that going to get you noticed? Killing a guy. That's what you do every day.
I got Elvis's blue suede shoes. I don't give a shit about that.
Right.
Everybody knows Little Richard's the fucking man.
Well, and then he's like Howard Hughes' car, which I don't know what deal they're doing, but that has to be correct. Of like, wait, that's Howard Hughes' car. Yeah, that can't. Yeah, I think there's only like what did it say, 1 or 2.
Yeah, he will have
in
only
the world.
It's like the Spruce Goose. There's only going to be the one.
Yeah, that car's all but priceless.
Right.
Like
honestly, it's remarkable that you were able to replace that hose and that everything wasn't somehow custom.
Like that mechanic could fucking do anything for that.
I also love him driving by like, hey kid, I know how that engine, just the basic physics of it. Like, don't drive that. There's a reason I'm driving this Duster through the desert and you're driving that Flathead. Don't do that.
You're gonna overheat this bitch and we're gonna be stuck out here. And then like the Bible salesman or whatever they are.
Fake ass Mormons. I knew when he goes shit.
Yeah.
Like they do like a holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys aren't Mormons.
Yeah, you're like, and then they have just guns. I'm like, what the fuck are these? I'll never find out their deal.
Nope.
Just fucking random.
But yeah, that whole episode somehow laid down a little bit of like, now I'm sure what the show wants to be. And I don't think that's the show's fault. I bet if I go back and rewatch those first episodes are probably fine. But I didn't know, I was off foot. Like, I didn't know where we were. And now I feel like we do. I'm looking forward to watching this week's episode.
But Hacks. So Hacks, I thought was absolutely excellent.
Man, for a season that I'd been nervous about off and on throughout, I thought it really stuck a landing for where I was literally in my head going, I know you guys have another season, but I'm not 100% on why or what you're going to do.
We're pulling out, and I realized what can they do after she gets her show? Isn't that the end of it? And like, no, her arc is to give up her show for the thing that really matters.
Right. Her arc is to learn that the dream she feels like was taken from her was never going to be the thing. Like that a real goal is different than this. Like, the real late night show is the friends you made along the way, damn it. And watching her parlay a live show into a moment. I don't know how I didn't see that coming more. Like, take a live show and hijack it so that you can call out the network. And
it's so Tootsie. Like, we got you a live show after the Oscars, and also sending Ava to like, hey, go get some pickup. And also that bit isn't bad. Like, hey, go try and trade people shit for their Oscars. See what they'll try and
right.
What they'll go. I'm like, actually, that is kind of funny.
That's pretty funny. It's a good bit.
That's a pretty good bit.
Solid.
But yeah, like, I knew if you knew I was doing it, you'd try and stop me. Like, you'd quit before. Because she was mad, like, I can't believe she fired me. And then she goes and quits. It's like, I cannot believe you should have fired me. You shouldn't have quit. That's your dream.
Yeah. And like, man, Ava would have thrown herself on that sword in the moment.
Absolutely.
Because
Ava has her own problems and her own thing going on, but she is an actual genuine person.
Right.
When she meant that I did this for both of us in the beginning of the season, that's not bullshit.
No.
You're trying to self-sabotage right now by getting rid of me, and I won't let you.
And I really love setting up a place where we watched Deborah have a real moment, like at the fast food thing with her mascara running down her cheeks, and like there is no show without you. Like, that moment was real, but Deborah's been Deborah enough that Ava witnessed it and still isn't sure. Like she asked her later, like, did I fall for it again? God damn it, were you bullshitting me again?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
mm-hmm.
and I like that. You always have a problem of trying to give a character a real arc when you may or may not have another season, and just the fucking meta realities of making a television show. Well, and I feel like they've juggled it better than I thought, because I thought they'd almost lost it at one point of like, you've had to walk her up to growth and then walk her back because you got another season.
Right.
And that's going to ruin this show.
And that can't be the thing every time.
No. And I feel like something really changed here. Also, going straight from that into... We'll talk about Jimmy's fucking phone slap half gorilla mode moment.
I went full gorilla mode.
Sometimes you got to go full gorilla mode.
Hell yeah!
But going from that to the Singapore And a time jump, like they've been there months.
Oh yeah, they fucking montage their way to like months out of there,
and all of that is great because I was watching them do all that, going, this is funny, but how are you going to get me to believe that Deborah is? Ava calls her out on it. She just doesn't fucking hear it. Like, fuck you. You leave then.
Yeah,
and then gets that fake death TMZ report, the fake eulogy or whatever.
Yeah,
and I fully believed it.
Oh
when,
yeah.
When Deborah spun her, like, what are you doing? Like, she's packing. And like, you can see the fire in her again of like, retired to Singapore. No, they're going to know I haven't. Like, every fuck who said that's going to know I haven't retired.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like, her probably non-compete is probably almost up and after the time jump, or they're going to go and write.
They got to be within fucking 6 months of it.
But also her thing is like, man,
it's 18 months.
So late night, you realize that you can produce a show yourself and that Joe Rogan has a podcast.
There's a reason that you flamed out and late night, quote unquote, died.
I want to say that man was born without a personality. So like,
right. No, but like congenitally, he doesn't have one. It's fine.
Which is fine. I mean, like, good for him. I'm all for the.
What's it supposed to live past 5?
I'm all for the charisma disabled, but
right.
But yeah, you're funny and with it, and like you can do these. There's nothing in a late night show you can't do self-produced.
Yeah, right.
Like, there's a reason that when they went to quarantine, all the hosts could do it from home.
Right.
And didn't really miss a beat.
No, there's like, it wasn't any big, like, well, if Deborah can't do it, I guess, like, yeah, we're ready to close up shop on late night anyway. Come on.
Yeah. Or at least change what it's about.
Right.
Like,
I mean, like, it's the thing to make noise while 2 people in bed are doom scrolling different shit.
Well,
that's what late night's for, right?
Helen Hunt, comes up and basically tell her to fuck you.
And hey, it's good to see you. Yeah. Tell Deborah fuck herself.
Because that's what Ava thinks, like, oh, she's just fucked me. But I remember, like, no, to her credit, she didn't actually try and get Helen Hunt fired. She just wanted her offer back about that fucking spinoff she didn't want to do. Because she's number one. She got everything she wanted. She's like, wait, that doesn't buy me any grace. I still got to do the spinoff dumb thing. I don't want. So you're saying that no matter how successful I am, there's no point where I
have to balance scrape. Yeah.
So that I'm never like, no, fuck you. I don't want to do it. Like, hey, get her off my back about this.
Right.
And that translated into that guy firing her.
Right.
Which I was like, maybe he's trying to, overcorrect or like, or whatever. But I don't really think that was Jean Smart's fault.
No.
She was very communicative about Helen Hunt. Like, I don't want to do that spinoff. Get off my ass about it.
Right. How have I not earned enough space for you to let me have this one?
Oh, and Helen Hunt was like, I'm trying to protect her or whatever. Like, you didn't do a good enough job explaining why.
No, that didn't come across.
It was like, you either do this or you don't have a show. Was the like
the vibe.
Is the stakes of it, and you didn't communicate that. But yeah, I thought the speech was really good. I thought the Singapore thing, I think, is inspired by the Alexander Del Bell, like, got a caught of his obituary early.
Mm-hmm.
And they called him the fucking merchant of death.
Right.
For inventing dynamite.
Nobel Prize
so it was like, so his last scrape of life was just like, wow, I can't be remembered as that.
Right.
But yeah, what else do we want? Oh yeah, it's not finished off, but Poker Face,
Melanie Linsky and John Cho episode.
Right, but we also didn't talk about the Sam Richards episode.
But we didn't talk about
fucking One Last Job.
So we had a heist and a con episode. Like, Poker Face knows where I live.
Yeah.
So the heist episode is Sam Richards?
Sam Richards, yeah.
Or
is it Richardson?
This is like a Richardson thing. Who can know? His parents.
Now I'm hesitating.
Richardson,
yeah.
And Richardson. Yeah. Alan. Yeah. Okay. Sam Richardson is the 40-year-old virgin working at the fucking electronics store, like Supermart.
You have your own remote? Okay, of course. Who doesn't?
And I love that he isn't just your nerd friend who's written a screenplay. They're fantastic. like his buddy that he's showing his screenplays to is like, dude, I read it last night. This is another banger. Like, these might be 3 of the best movies I've ever read.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck are you still working for me? And you can feel it in the scene. His buddy fires him and is not bullshitting. That's love.
Yeah,
like,
no.
He is kicking him out of that nest.
Well, it'd be one thing if he had a steady job that he couldn't actually translate to LA.
Right.
But you're working in basically a Best Buy, and like, okay, you can find a Best Buy in LA.
Right.
Or wait tables or
something, dude.
Like, he wouldn't be giving up a comfort level.
You're just scared.
Then again, he would be going to the price. What do you call it?
Cost of living.
Cost of living is going to be definitely
but still,
higher.
Like you're just scared.
Yeah,
like you're ready to. I'm not guaranteeing you're going to succeed, but
you're waiting
ready
for
to make
someone
your
to come give you the tap.
Right,
and that's not happening.
And so in lieu of that, here's the kick.
Yeah.
And I just really dug that, and of course then that cascades into a fucking heist where he hires Juice,
man,
and all of that clusterfuck. Like, I like how often the crimes in Poker Face are just sad train wrecks.
Yeah, a lot of the murders aren't like, especially in this season, it read to me like, oh yeah, this season has a lot of accidental deaths.
Right. You just meant to do like this tiny crime, and it just spiraled into this.
This one was at least better. Honestly, the baseball one, I kind of was mad at. I was like, that one almost could be. He didn't really have a shot of like that pitcher was an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, was going to fuck him up with some mob guys that he needed to pay back that he can't. And he offered half the money.
Right.
Like, I can't give you the full money.
I straight up wasn't that mad at Rex.
So honestly, fucking them over on it was kind of like, Charlie, what the fuck? This isn't even your thing because you saw a hallucination of the fucking mascot of the thing. Okay. That was one of the ones where I was like a little annoyed by it. Like, but yeah, Florida woman also didn't like,
right.
But
well, in this whole season, like, she's less going after murderers or whatever, and it more just kind of feels like Charlie's adrift. Which is a fun show, but like, she doesn't know what she's up to. The heist episode with John Cho, or the con episode rather with John Cho this week, Charlie feels particularly twitchy.
Before we hit the Sam Richards one is actually pretty good. Richardson is always great, but the guy playing his best friend is on a date with Charlie. And here's the one thing about, I think, the entire show that doesn't quite add up is that I don't know if it's the character or Natasha Lyonne, but those two characters, I'm like, yeah, I believe she likes him in the way she has liked anyone on this show.
Right.
There is no sexual charge between these two at all.
No, it's her George Burns-ness.
She feels like his grandma.
Yeah.
Like that.
She's got a real,
I like my cool grandma.
Like, we all only know George Burns after his age of 60.
Right. Like I feel like Natasha Lyonne is like now permanently 80 in my mind. Like she said,
but like everything I think of George Burns in, he's always like shuffling by with a cigar, flirting, but flirting like the whole time. Like, darling, you look great. Could you go get me a drink? You know, like he's just always like charming and kind of like slightly macking.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's what she's doing, but also it has about the same connection.
Yeah.
Like I also don't think George Burns was staying up at night thinking about those women.
No.
And I don't think that she's really. So it surprised me in the newest episode when the second John Cho's second in command is like, yeah, I've been married 6 years. I'm like, oh yeah, I had somebody. You know what? Never mind.
Yeah.
It was like, oh yeah, that's right. That guy, your one night stand. Actually, that I'm supposed to remember meant something.
Meant something, except for in this episode, you kind of barely thought to mention him.
Right.
So did he mean so? It's a one night stand. It's one of the things that I don't think the show is like, we gotta try and give Charlie a love interest, and I think they tried and were like, yeah, we're not doing this again.
No, I mean, I want to say technically Columbo was married. I don't care. Like,
yeah,
I don't need that. I just need him to be quirky.
But yeah, the con episode with John Cho as
the murder in that one is suicide, and it's outright just fucking sad.
Well, I like that she clocks that, like, these con men. I'm like, okay, he's charming. This con is not like the trick of this con is more. I like that they use the hustle moniker. Like, that must just be a con man's thing that they use it as well. But like, you can't con an honest man.
Yeah, you can't con an honest John.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Well, and also her lying thing is not lying that she detects. It's whether or not you believe what you say. And so when John Cho says things like, I have never taken money off anyone who didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
He believes that.
He believes that because...
And so it sounds true.
Because he thinks Leninsky is also a pretty... I like that. Not only is he a John Cho in the episode, but Leninsky is as the...
Yeah, Melanie Leninsky's fucking awesome.
Fucking awesome. But yeah, dumb bitch is basically his fucking take on it. Like, damn, okay.
Well, and when he points out that, like, and I'm glad I'd already made the switch before the blanks went off because she stole what she thought was a bag full of $400,000.
Right. She didn't steal her money back.
Right. She stole the whole bag.
Right.
But also, she's stealing from a corpse.
Yeah. No, you're
like, that's also, found money in my head at this point.
But also, she's, at that point, put the money in his bag.
Right.
So you're thinking that she's going to stay there with two corpses.
And separate back out for fairness.
For fairness, separate back out the money? Fuck you. No way.
I'll separate that out later, donate it all to orphans, and hope I never have to think of this again.
No, man, I'm grabbing that and skedaddling. Like, but, yeah, the Georgia Khan or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's sleazy Georgian.
And
that is a known stereotype about Georgians.
Yeah. The trick of the Khan that really reads is working to me is the fact that they have the mark come to them and have like the mark has to earn your trust.
That's my favorite thing that they say that and something I don't hear delineated clearly in enough heist things or con things.
Mm-hmm.
Because Charlie points out a sleazy Georgian that's exchanging money for. Listen to that out loud. And he was like, who would buy that? And he's like, no one would buy it. That's the point.
Yeah. So you're not selling it. They're trying to sell you on it.
No one can sell this. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It only works if they come to, like, they have to come to you.
No one believes a golden opportunity falling in their lap. They will believe a thing that they've juiced their way in on, and it's a little bit them being clever.
Right. I was like, that's fucking true. You're right. No one can sell this. That's why you don't sell it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yep, that's how cons work. Fuck.
Yeah, and then they have the convincer, like the money on the top. Like it reminded me of like an episode of Hustle.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, and then I like that Charlie's revenge plan basically is to all the rules he states, which are just he's immediately going to break, are like, hey, don't overreach. If the mark gives you a one red flag, you walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, yeah, I bet you it's still dangerous to like, you don't know who's a cop or like,
and talking about the not selling it, letting them come to you. Charlie Charlie tries to get him to stop the con 5 or 6 times.
Sure. Yeah.
Because it won't work if you push at all. If Charlie had ever seemed like she wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But if Charlie had looked like she was ignoring a red flag, John Cho would have stopped.
Right.
But because she was like, hey, red flag. And he's like, I know better than you.
Her plan doesn't work if she blows up this deal, but it won't sell unless she tries to blow up this deal 5 times.
Right. And basically lies about using her, like she's earned his trust about her gift. Mm-hmm. And so he thinks that she's helping him make sure the dude's on the level. She's doing the opposite of that. Yeah.
No, he thinks that she's cool or whatever, and like they can use her for cons.
And like, deep down, he's telling the truth. He really, on a long enough timeline, his ultimate goal would be to get a lie over on her.
Right. But also, I see that like, oh, you want to know if a mark is lying because you don't know if a mark is undercover cop or mobbed up. Because that's like, man, when she
first meets him.
Yeah.
Is this the weirdest bust? What the fuck is happening?
Yeah. But also, like, they like, hey, man, there's a lot of red flags. He's a degenerate gambler. He's obviously connected to the mob, and also his name is Sketch.
Like, he's got a gun. What kind of degenerate gambler would I be?
Without a gun? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of the movies. I mean, this whole season's been fun. That little kid episode, I hate that kid. Jesus.
Oh, we didn't talk about the little kid episode, I don't think.
Yeah, no, because that was the start of ATX Fest.
That was the start of ATX Fest. Yeah. No, that...
the evilest kid who's definitely going to come murder Charlie in an old folks home.
Well, the murder in that one being the hamster.
Yes.
No, the gerbil. Sorry, Joseph Gerbils. Yeah, why? That's the same. Yeah, why?
Yeah, why?
No reason.
Also, watching that kid's head just nearly explode when they just replaced the gerbil.
Yeah.
With bandages all around it. Mm-hmm. Like, no, we put it back together.
No, that gerbil's dead.
That is not your gerbil husband. That is a lie.
That is a lie. Well, the blood in the front row.
Yeah, that slow motion. Oh man,
fantastic. And also just her like getting a star at the end, like from the kids. And I'm like, no, the kids don't know you. You're like barely a lunch lady, like
right.
And it's like, I will find you. Like, but no, I really enjoying Poker Face this season. I watched the latest couple episodes of Murderbot. It's slow rolling on exactly what is going on and who's trying to like kill them or whatever. They find someone that obviously is so obviously like, oh, I'm part of the crew down there that survived. Like I got away from the murder bots, and it's played by Anna Nokel or Connell. I actually don't know how to say her name, but you recognize her if you saw her. But she is so horny for Skarsgård's murderbot. Like, so does he have an attachment, and she's so weird. Conkle, yeah.
Is her full freak in Murderbot. That's the fucking thing I just saw.
No, she's super weird. She's the best part of that episode. I like that they run into a problem because he doesn't have the schematics on the hopper. The hopper goes down. He doesn't have the schematics on his end to fix it. And it's like, what? Like, why not? Because they're at the habitat, and my version is a redundant file, and I had to erase it. Why? To make room for the latest episode, like latest season of Lover's Moon. Like, for a TV show, a fantastic quality TV show. Like, it's
that's great.
Well, it's not agree to disagree.
That's great. Yeah, she's from Pen 1-5, which I did not care for. That's the main thing.
I promise I will save you and like just list off everyone at the habitat. And Godalkin or
Dathmalkin.
Yeah, Ed whatever his name is, like, and Graken, right? Yeah, sure, him too, I guess.
Sure, all right.
If there's time. He really does not like that guy. That's gonna be one that I like. I think I'll watch the whole thing, but not really enjoy. But like, not Invincible level rant about. But like, what is wrong with this thing? Anything else we were keeping up with?
I'm about 4 episodes in now. 5 episodes in to Department Q over on Netflix.
That's right.
Which is Matthew Good as David Tennant in. Which it's not. They didn't go with a Scottish actor because he is English in Scotland and hates it. Which is kind of part of his curmudgeonness. But it is a detective show of a single dude department. Like at this point now he has 2 helpers, but he's basically one guy in a department. And the setup of the show is pretty funny. For a show that is about a department of cold cases and serial killers and shit.
Right.
The premise of it is that this department in Glasgow is basically underwater. Like they're behind on a bunch of cases, like the, harried police chief going, God damn it, I don't have time for this. And some of the city council people or higher ups, the brass, come down and are like, hey, so did you hear about that case in Aberdeen that they just solved after 20 years? And she's like, whoop-de-doo, I guess I'll wait for the podcast. He's like, exactly. Everybody's waiting for the podcast. People love that shit. And he's like, you need to solve some cases like that. And she's like, it's in the public interest. She's like, I'm pretty sure solving any case is in the public interest. Like, can we close some of the things that are like this week murders and not, he's like, cool, nobody cares about I mean, like, those people care about those, but the public doesn't care about those.
You see, murders have to be aged like a fine wine.
Right. And she's like basically telling him to get the fuck out of her office when they're like, cool. So the city council already approved a budget for your cold case office. It has its own budget. And she's like, I have just the dude. We're going to make this a 1-man department. He's going to work out of the basement. And then like she immediately buys computers for like all of the upstairs.
Yeah.
Like he comes upstairs from his like basement office at one point and is like, the fuck is happening? Like new chairs, new shit everywhere. He's like, steal me one of those and one of those. And like, but they basically pick a case, and it's this woman that's been missing 4 years. And the serial killer aspect of it is pretty cool. The 3rd episode is where, like, the first one they build the team and pick the case at the very end. The 2nd episode gives you kind of the backstory on the case. And then the 3rd episode, fucking off to the races. Like, I was hooked on this show now.
Right.
It is very British, but it definitely wants to be an action-packed like U.S. serial killer show. It just, every once in a while you realize that they're saying the most Scottish thing ever. In the subtitles, at one point, instead of saying, like, the fuck you were, somebody goes, ugh, are you fuck? Like, and it says ACH, period, are ya fuck? I think that's the most Scottish thing I've ever seen subtitled. And so it's been fun. Weirdly, the other show I watched that's very similar is Art Detectives.
Art Detectives, right?
Which I also got to interview the creator and writer of that, Paul Powell. Met him at ATX Fest and reached out to him. Made him get on a phone at a weird hour and chat with me about it. So you can go check that interview out now. You can also get a free week of Acorn TV right now to go watch Art Detective. Stephen Moyer, Vampire Bill. Sucky. He plays an incredibly British cop in what I'm pretty sure is probably a real thing. The police in the UK have a single person department. It's just Stephen Moyer, who investigates crimes that overlap with invaluable shit. Because England's where fucking history's from. And so, like, if you get blood on a priceless painting, or if somebody,
if any other place has history, they'll steal it from you.
It's where all your history is. The import-export history business in England is huge. And so, in the first episode, like, there's a murder and some shit but it involves this painting, and you can see, like, the real cop standing around this house, and then Stephen Moyer walks up, and one of them's like, "Fuck." And it's not that. This is my favorite thing about Art Detectives, and it's not in competition with Department Q, but it very much differentiates it from it. The trope of he's Sherlock Holmes, he's the most brilliant detective who's ever been. He's the worst person on earth, but we just have to put up with it because he's so smart.
He's so
and
good,
in 2025, I'm fucking sick of, like,
well,
he's a monster, but he's so talented.
Oh, are you sick of having to like a decade of, like, justifying sociopaths?
Right.
Because
in the news today, they mistrialed Weinstein's rape trial. So
right.
That's fine. That's good. Sure.
Like,
so I love that. No, Mick, like, Moyer's character is not great at peopling. He is an awkward dude, and nobody really quite likes him. But it's not because he's the worst or an asshole. He ends up adding a policeman, like doubling his department in size at the end of the first episode, purely because this other cop is about to get demoted for doing her job. And, like, her other boss arrested the wrong dude. She told him, hey, you got the wrong dude. He doesn't listen to her because shut up. And then at the end, when he gets embarrassed by it, her boss is like, I can't believe you didn't tell me that I had the wrong guy. How dare you? You're going to get demoted. This is going to your file. And she just looks at him and is like, cool. So the art detective dude said that I could join the art department, and he actually listened to me during this case. So I'm just going to go there, and be around people that like me. And I love that, like, Moyer's character is curious and interested and obsessive, and, like, just really enjoys solving, like no, but that's wrong in this room. Does that not bother anybody else?
No, I feel like we're in the Ted Lasso Renaissance age of.
It is a wonderful change for a detective show.
Genuineness has come back.
Yeah.
In a way in our media.
This is also, Art Detectives is so British. Like, literally, we don't have any fucking history here. What's he going to study things that are 55 years old? Like, what? What the fuck? So it's incredibly British. It can't happen. Like, this isn't you can't make a US remake of this, and it won't be the same. And it leans into it. It makes him extra British in his curiousness somehow. Whereas Department Q is irrevocably Scottish. Like, you guys are Scottish. You can't not be. It's Scottish. But also, it deeply wants me to forget that occasionally and think it's Following or Dexter or something.
Yeah.
And it doesn't not work, but I think it's fun that Art Detective seems to really be turning this trope inside out, where my main character's not an asshole. He's just super curious and weird. But then also it's British and leans in. I'm really enjoying it. The 2 episodes were super cute that are out so far of Art Detectives, and I definitely recommend going and checking it out.
Yeah.
And that's everything we could possibly have watched this week, with the exception of a couple of things you watched that I cannot wait to hear you talk about.
Well, the I watched Lower Decks to get some to watch, which led me to watching Rick and Morty again, because like they have kind of like a similar vibe to me, which led to me watching the new episodes of Rick and Morty, which
sounded great,
which are pretty good. I like the Beth and Rick go on like a whole space adventure in one, but the first one back is like a Matrix episode where he puts them into a Matrix to teach him about stealing his phone charger, and then falls asleep. And in Matrix time, they live like fucking 17 years.
It's a bit of a Black Mirror White Christmas kind of thing, and
they don't want him to mind blower them like the way, so they have to spend the rest of the time. Morty's just working on a death car the rest of the episode, like you need a snorkel drive here or whatever. Like, oh man, when did you get cool? After the war.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
But the thing I cannot believe that you've watched a whole fucking era of now.
Well, I mean, the first era is not that long.
It's super short.
But yeah, I watched a season and a half now of Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm. So you got all the way through the Eccleston.
Well, I was like, so I'm like, man, I like Lower Decks, like of Rick and Morty, like of the.
You might also like Inspector Spacetime
and Inspector. And I'm like, okay,
Constable Reggie.
That's the vibe that they're stealing from more of Rick and Morty than anything else. I mean, it's a Back to the Future riff, their characters, but the premise of the show is Doctor Who. And so I was like, okay, I've never actually given this a true shot. It was on when I was in high school, but I tried to watch when Eccleston first came on. And I just wasn't really down for it. And so watching it as it comes back, I was like, okay, I kind of like how dumb, like it immediately reminded me of Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Only you pointed out something I think important. Legends of Tomorrow can nail the silly, but it doesn't always stick the landing on the heart.
It's stuck in its CW-ness.
Right.
And the CW can only get but so actual, genuine moments. Because it's not that good. Like, let's be real. The best CW show is pretty much never as good as like even a mid-tier pick another network. Like right. It's not. It just is. And that's not a knock against any.
They know what they make. I mean, like
that's not a knock against anyone, creators or whatever. The CW will only let you get to.
Like, I love USA. They're never going to make Game of Thrones.
No. Yeah.
Or White Lotus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a reason like Burn Notice was the best fucking procedural they were gonna like get. But so Doctor Who, like Eccleston shows up, I was like, okay, there's some just unbelievably silly shit. Like first episode, they're fighting sentient plastic people that of course like, oh man, he can control plastic, so like he's going out and controlling. I'm like, cool. Why is he only controlling mannequins? Like everything in the world is made out of plastic. Shouldn't he be able to control everything? Okay, well I guess it's for drama or whatever. Sure. It's like he's using the mannequins. All right, okay. And then suddenly like I'm down for science fiction nonsense. And then the mannequins push their hands apart and they have guns in their hands.
When did those happen?
I'm sorry. Point of order. They didn't.
Terminator 2 rules. How did it make that gun?
He didn't make the mannequins. He's controlling Earth's mannequins. So what you're telling me here is that all of Earth's mannequins are secretly manufactured for no reason with guns in their hands.
Honestly, that might actually be a Doctor Who plot point. I'm not 100%. That might be real.
So like, yeah, watching it while editing, I'm like, okay, obviously I'm going to lose track of some of these plot points here. There was one where they were fighting an evil robot Santa, and then it was an alien invasion, and I straight up missed the go-between on
how we switched. Yeah.
Like why the robot Santa was involved, or why that was a good idea, or made sense in any way.
Right.
And I at that point I'd get like, I don't care.
Yeah,
and I didn't rewind because I just didn't
it's fine.
You
gave yourself a Doctor Who to rewatch someday.
Whatever. Like, but Eccleston was not bad. I just thought he came off a little weird. I actually really liked the Dalek episode.
And apparently he did not enjoy literally any of his time doing it. He really did not want to be there.
And honestly, that doesn't actually come across, maybe not as overtly, maybe it comes across more subtly. But there's episodes where like, what I really like is that, man, the Dalek shows up and it looks dumb, but it carries across the mythos of like, when the Doctor and the Dalek meet each other, even though I have not seen any other Doctor Who, they read to me in this room that these two things fucking hate each other
and know each other from
old. And this is an old fucking.
This is a grudge from a long time ago.
This was a war or whatever where they're like the only survivors of it, and this is some like Batman Joker level.
Yeah.
We can't have one without the other. Like fuck you and your Time Lord bullshit.
Yeah.
But Eccleston's doctor read to me as kind of an asshole. Like I thought the show was fun, but I thought the doctor was kind of like, no, the doctor seems like kind of a prick that comes in and is a little condescending to humans. Like he likes them, but like they're pets.
And I think some of the older doctors, I haven't watched a lot of old Doctor Who, but I get the feeling that some of the earlier doctors were that dickbag.
Yeah.
Like we're just that asshole.
So, I watched that. I watched John Barrowman as a Jack Harkness or whatever.
Captain Jack Harkness.
And he immediately has more charisma and was like, why isn't he the doc?
Oh
like,
yeah, he has a Riz transplant. He's
also pretty cool to see an openly bi man in that day and age.
Yeah.
I don't think he still kisses any fucking dudes, but
I believe he does eventually.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
That's cool. Oh wait, he kisses the doc. He kisses Eccleston in the finale. He does. But yeah, Eccleston regenerates. Right.
And you get everybody's favorite doctor.
And we get Tennant, and I do truly realize why Tennant was everyone's favorite. I again, I haven't seen anyone else yet in a real significant way.
He gets it.
He regenerates and immediately comes out and has a different energy and is all of a sudden the doctor is curious in a way that isn't condescending now.
Yeah.
That is genuinely fascinating.
And Tennant gets across my favorite subtle thematic metaphor, whatever aspect of the doctor, which is that the man is profoundly depressed, lonely. If he ever stopped, the amount of loss he's seen and the wars and shit would crush him. And so he feels like Tennant feels like a guy distracting himself at a theme park, because it like when the party's over and we go home, I have to sit in my apartment alone and cry.
Eccleston comes off as a PTSD war survivor.
If he goes back into that TARDIS alone, it feels so much bigger on the inside than the outside. Right. He's just lonely in there.
And meanwhile, Tennant feels like he's not so much sad about the war. He felt like he needed to do that. He just feels sad about the consequences of really, truly being alone in the universe.
Well, and the feeling that...
Which is weird because...
Like you pointed out, everyone he meets, it's their whole fucking lifespan.
Yeah.
But frequently for him, it is a day.
Yeah.
2 days. And in the scope of his basically infinite lifespan, being there for every day of your human life still is a blip.
Yeah.
And it starts to get into Lord of the Rings dwarf elf problems. Like,
I mean, you're wrong. They meet up with Jane.
Sarah Jane.
Sarah Jane. And I was like, man, you could have stopped by and said goodbye.
Right.
Oh, also K9 rules. Fucking should have taken K9 with him.
It's Lower Decks rules, man. The dumber the shit, the better it is for who. Because K9 is unequivocally a dumb idea that like it's like having Herbie in the Fantastic Four movie, and it's why I think Herbie has to be in the Fantastic Four movie.
And fuck you if Herbie isn't in the goddamn Fantastic Four movie.
He's in when Herbie turned up in the trailer, I was like, K9 rules. You get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs to be there.
Oh, you're a good boy. Affirmative.
Love it.
Then he like blows himself up and is like fucking, because of course everyone the doc runs into has to make a grand sacrifice. Like seriously, I don't know how deadly the doctor is, but seriously, every time he goes somewhere, someone has to sacrifice themselves for the doc's plan to work.
Right. It's like the doc himself isn't toxic, but just being near him kills you.
So K9 has to like blow up fucking Giles from Buffy with like in a blown up building, and right beforehand the guy's like, bad dog. Affirmative. And I was like, yeah! K9.
K9's the shit.
But K9 gets to go off with Sarah Jane into a spinoff, I guess. So that's pretty cool.
They do Sarah Jane adventures.
But yeah, Tennant comes out, and I like that he's excited about a new body and like learning who he is, which was missing from Eccleston. He's like, what kind of man am I? Like, oh man, am I rude? I feel like I'm a little bit rude. Okay, I'm definitely a talker. Like, okay, am I the kind of guy that's gonna give you like gonna run away from this fight, like a coward, whatever? Eccleston felt like he went out of his way in the seasons to maintain neutrality, and gave everyone options of like, hey, let the gaseous, evil, ghost-looking things have a chance to, maybe we'll find you a way. Like, yeah, possess these corpses so that we can eventually transport you to another thing. And then all of a sudden, like, yes, we must have more corpses. Oh, who could have seen that coming?
Right. And Tenet feels like, no, I've seen this before. I'm just going to kill you now.
Tenet is on one level a happier and funner Doctor, but also a more decisive, kind of colder Doctor. Like, he's the guy that, like, the first alien invasion, he gives like I'm also the guy that doesn't give second chances. He gives them the option to, like, okay, I beat you in this also he's ready to rumble.
Right.
I like that the other Doctor, it's not like he never hit anybody or whatever, but like Eccles, like, Tenet rolls out from his fucking regeneration and is like, hey, you, me, sword fight for Earth right now. And I'm like, yeah, all right. Now, see, had we solved, I'm not, maybe it is the American in me, but like, hey, so I know we shouldn't solve all our problems with violence, but you realize that some of these problems would have been solved sooner with a little violence, right?
Right.
With, like, I don't know,
it's a heck of a
gun. But yeah, that he gives them the option to leave, and then he, like, turns around on his back and just fucking knocks that guy off the thing. Like, I'm also the guy that doesn't give second chances. Like, oh shit. Also, Tenet's Doctor does fuck.
Yeah.
Eccleston's Doctor felt like asexual, and like whatever Rose's thing was with him, it felt like, no, I don't know what this three-way thing with you and Jack is or whatever, but Eccleston isn't bringing any sexual charge to this.
Right.
It doesn't really read or come off. Tenet feels like, okay, I think you guys are actually falling in love.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually genuinely enjoying myself. There's a level of dumb that is baked in that I like, that they're finding Buddhist monks bring in a werewolf to into Scotland so that it can bite the Queen Victoria to make the royals into a lycanthrope fucking. And it's Doctor Who, so it's a science werewolf, like it's an alien DNA cell that's in there, but like it's straight up magic. But it heavily implies that they're like they succeed, and that they're like, oh my god, I think the royal family might be werewolves. Like, they do like planning, like they do love scheduling things. Do they schedule things on full moons?
That's great.
But yeah, but it also balances out with like existential, like the vastness of time and the universe and his loneliness, and also just some dread of, you know, the Dalek being considered something different and begging Rose to order it to kill itself.
Yeah.
Because it can't quite do it itself because it needs orders. Like, the Dalek's just a
fucking
soldier.
sad. Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, how to like bring about, you know, pathos for a villain or whatever. Like, I think they just did that with The Last Human, the skin tag,
Cassandra. Yeah.
Cassandra just had an episode where she came back and all of a sudden has a mythos of like episode where she dies, and the Doc lets her go back to meet her old self before she was a skin flap.
There's a whole fucking thing with the face of Bo.
Yeah, the face of Bo has shown up like 3 times already.
Yeah, he's pretty great.
Although I don't think he's like actually like, you know, done much. So, I mean, I don't think he can. He's a fucking
head in a
He's
tank.
a head in a tank. I don't know, like he's fucking. I mean, that's why Zordon gets 5 teenagers with attitude to actually do his dirty work.
Right.
Like, you just can't. You can't do a lot when you're head in a tube. I think that was a good time to mention our Patreon.
That's right. Patreon.com/TVDudes.
TV Dudes. Les, what do you get for Patreon?
Well, for just $1 an episode, you get twice the content every month. Each week, we're going to go talk about something else, whether it's a movie or another movie or a different movie. It's all been movies lately.
Sure.
But you can come listen to us talk about, I believe this week, Ballerina from the world of John Wick. You can also go at higher levels. At $5, we will read whatever rant, review, praise, whatever about any show. So just
anything.
Put words in Nick's mouth or mine.
Put things in my mouth.
At the $20 level, you can put stuff in our eyeballs.
Yeah.
And like John Paul did this week.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about government cheese here in a few minutes because John Paul joined at the showrunner level.
Yeah.
It's not an every single week thing. You throw down $20, you pick a show, and we watch 4 episodes of it. You even pick which 4 episodes.
Yeah, then you can reduce your Patreon down to the whatever your regular
then drop it back. Yeah.
So you got to do the $20 once, and then you can buy yourself some government cheese.
Indeed. So, Nick, what is government cheese, the show?
Welcome home, Pops.
While I was away, I came up with a plan that's gonna make our family the toast of Chatsworth.
A drill.
It self-sharpens as it works.
You need to call it the Bit Magician.
I like that. I'm not doing smash and grabs anymore. I'm on the righteous path.
A what? Dad can make something out of nothing.
He made the best sandwiches out of government cheese and white bread.
All that poison food is probably what made him a criminal.
This invention is my family's future. What's wrong with him?
You would know if you'd been around.
Do you know the Prevost brothers?
I owe the Prevost brothers?
Government Cheese is a historical surrealist comedy drama television series created by Paul Hunter and Aisha Carr, and starring David Oyelowo. Oh, I think I got that one.
You nailed that. I gave that to you just to be in a
fucking
dick, man.
You got to do it with confidence, babies. And Simone Misak, Bokeem Woodbine, hell yeah, Adam Beach, and Sunita Mani. Set in 1969, the series follows the Chambers family, an African-American family living in the San Fernando Valley, and the chaos that rises after a burglar-turned-inventor Hampton Chambers returns from prison.
So the premise is that in 1969, Hampton Chambers, convicted burglar, is released from prison, returns to his home in Chatsworth, L.A., neighborhood in Los Angeles, where he reunites with his family and tries to start over by inventing the Bit Magician, a self-sharpening power drill.
Dad, I think she called it a Bit Magician. I love it.
However, the unconventional structure of the Chambers family has formed in his absence. That's a great way to put that. While he's in jail, his family had to learn to cope, and he doesn't know what his place is in his family anymore. It also mentions that moments from this past, run-ins with shady and dangerous figures, and even instances of seeming divine intervention complicate matters. I would say so. So we watched episodes 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, and I also watched episode 1 before John Paul assigned this to us. I just watched episode 1 on a lark, so I knew a little bit more about the setup. I honestly thought you said like a convicted burglar. I'm like, I thought they said he was a check forger.
Maybe Wikipedia is wrong.
But then again, I can't, since we haven't really watched all of it.
So
he does know how to burgle.
Yeah, we jumped in at episode...
Maybe he's maybe he got caught for check forging. Yeah.
We jump in at ep 4. He and, Bokeem Woodbine is talking him into robbing this safe in a synagogue.
Yeah.
And he's also got his partner already that worked at Rocket Corp, who's helping him like kind of being the face a little bit, helping him try to sell this bit sharpener,
right?
Bit magician. Episode 4 was a blast watching him try to get along with both his kids. His kids are fucking weird. His wife's frustrated at work, doesn't want to give up the job. It's, like the boys came home from war and I don't want to stop being in the factory.
Well, one kid just fucking hates him.
Yeah, that's his youngest son, who has somehow become best buddies with a fellow prison inmate, and is all about Native American spirit journeys type stuff.
Yeah, well, that's his father's best friend in jail too.
Is it Joel? Is it? No. Yeah, but and you had told me from the little bit that you'd seen that that guy, I assume, is dead and died in prison.
Well, so here's the thing: is like that. The thing I saw was he owes money to the Prevost brothers.
Yes, who are hilarious.
French Canadian fucking gang, which are great. The youngest one was in jail with him and basically starts the riot that ends up killing his friend.
Okay.
And he blows up the water tank, and they're in the basement workshop. So he blows up the water tank to the whole facility, and it starts to flood the water. It starts to flood the basement, and just a riot pops off because
shit.
Because like the minute something pops off in jail, and like I know that's a real thing of like,
when the right's just been waiting for the moment.
When you know the guards are busy with something else.
Right.
All of a sudden, it's time to settle old scores, and
Right.
And so just like people are freaking out, and so yeah, a big fight breaks out, and as it starts to fill up with water, he grabs a screwdriver. He's working on the Bit Magician in the prison and talking to his friend about it. What is his friend's name? I wish I could remember, but he goes up and tries to hide behind like a cage in the workshop where all the tools are, and if I'm remembering right, and suddenly someone grabs him from behind, and he turns around and stabs, and it's his buddy.
Shit.
And if you think that like, well, he just got stabbed, but then the whole bottom of the basement fills up with water, and the last you see of his friend is floating in the water, like fucking eyes open, fucking gone. So like, okay, so if he didn't bleed to death, he drowned in there. And his son and he did not tell his son about that, who apparently was buddies with him. And one of the episodes we watched, the Prevost brother shows up and is like,
is that Rudy?
Rudy. Yeah. And Prevost brother shows up, and Rudy and like talks with the kid and realizes that
in the moment and doesn't say anything.
Okay. Yeah. Like, yeah. All right. And like, but yeah, he owes the Prevost brothers, I want to say $2,000, $6,000, something that for nowadays money is not a lot.
But in
1969 might as well be $100,000. Like fucking
right.
like, oh shit. Where could I ever possibly get $2,000?
Well, your friend Bootsy has a plan.
Bootsy. And he, for whatever reason, has a line on a synagogue. And his information is so last minute, and
it's just him tuning out like, man, could this just be the one thing that you don't half-ass? We don't wing it.
The fucking safe isn't the right safe. Like, I was like, well, what's it matter? Like, it matters because where the goddamn device is. Because I know where the locking mechanism is on.
I don't know what I'm drilling. We're just drilling random holes, man.
Right. Yeah. And so like, yeah, he's trying to do that heist. He's trying to sell the Bit Magician with his friend. I like that he goes and works that into the heist, like getting materials to test out.
To make sure his Bit Magician can drill through this safe.
But also I like that his idea for the convention too is like, come on, we just got to like, I don't think people really like it here, like try to sell your shit like at a convention. And like, are you trying to tell me that we shouldn't try to sell our shit at a fucking
sales convention?
Like, no, he opens up a thing of like, hey, Bit Magician, like, blah, blah, blah. And of course, a bunch of vendors are like, hear the thing about it. Like, okay, this might be bullshit, but I'll tell you what,
I give you my card.
It costs me an afternoon.
Right.
And if it changes, so you can change two less bit changes you do in a shift, the amount of savings on that every fucking day, every week, every year. Yeah, you come back from that convention with that to your company, you're a hero.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you give that guy your card. And I like that it seems like he's damaging it. Like, I feel like in the next, we haven't watched the episode after.
Yeah.
But in the next episode, I'm like, man, I think the next time he demos that drill, it's going to go wrong. It's going to break.
Because I was afraid he was going to break it there. And we were talking about like, dude, that is a proprietary one-off.
You can't leave that here.
You can't leave, if it breaks, you can't leave any piece of that here.
No. Like that, like it can't lead to anybody
also,
but you.
So episodes 4, 5, and 6, they have this whole backstory of him trying to win over Harrison, his youngest son that fucking hates him.
Yeah.
And he forges a letter from Rudy.
Woofed. So
and
that
then
was the most
sets up this entire, like, all of that is fascinating. And he goes on that fucking fishing trip so that he has an alibi for his kid, and they actually bond. And you're like, oh, this is all going to come apart, dude.
What the fucked up thing is that David Oyelowo, what is this character's actual name? But he
Hampton.
You can tell that it's not just a cover. It's not just an alibi. He's trying to kill two birds with one stone.
And somewhere deep down, it's not really wrong to him to do this.
It's the same thing with the convention, selling the Bit Magician and getting the item for the heist.
Right.
He thinks it's the same thing of like, well, I got to sell my Bit Magician, but I also need the material for the heist. I could do them both here.
Right.
I need an alibi for the robbery, but I also need to bond my son, so let me do both.
Right.
And he doesn't connect them in a way that like, you don't realize how one is going to neutralize the other later.
Right.
And because he needs the alibi, Rudy gave him a letter to give to Harrison because they connected. I like that in the flashback too. Like he gave him a feather, and he checked in with Hampton.
That was really, respect on that.
Well, I'm like, I think prison is like
not just handing weird shit to your kid.
Yeah, like, hey, yo, just and a nod like that, in no conversation, just like I'm about
hands
to do
out, like yeah.
And I was like, it proved to me in a very no dialogue fast. Those two have a close relationship. That
no, it was solid. That was a solid little bit.
Yeah,
the whole fishing thing was fucking cool.
Well, he's excited like a dad is for a fishing trip, and it's actually nice, and it makes me forget that the circumstances for this trip are so dishonest
because he's getting his son day drunk the whole afternoon, his 15-16-year-old son,
so that he sleeps through the night. It's
you roofied your kid. You're not having a good bonding afternoon, dude. You're roofing your kid.
But in the moment, I can see why Harrison thinks
it's fine.
Harrison thinks he's sharing a beer with his dad on a fishing trip. He thinks it's kind of cool. And I remember,
and it sucks because for that kid, it is
like, you remember trips with your dad, your stepdad, like doing a thing, and like, how would you feel if you knew?
I know exactly how that feels. Like I went and visited my dad in rehab, and and like I got to have the weirdest revision feeling of like. So when I waited for you in a car outside of an apartment, if you had OD'd in there, I'd still be there because no one knew where you were. So like all these afternoons that weren't me having fun, like let's go do crazy shit with your dad, like realizing like, oh fuck, the errand we ran was terrible. Like I don't think that guy we waited for in that parking lot was your friend.
Yeah,
you know. So like watching that whole thing was a very like. So it is fine. It's going to feel great for Harrison for a while, but eventually, even if it actually doesn't come apart right now, eventually as an adult, something's going to tip that kid off, and he's going to fucking visit this, and it will suck.
I don't know if I would ever forgive that person, because not only did you taint our relationship, what the premise of it, like how he gets him to do it, is the letter that he has from Rudy. He steams it open.
Oh man, it's so fucking
because of his check forging.
Right, it's because it's so fucking shady.
Because he's such a goddamn shit.
Watching him forge it. Oh man,
like
when we realized what he was doing, of like, you bastard.
It was like one of those things of like, okay, especially a lot of black men of this time, I'm sure got a bad rap or are not in prisons for the right reasons. I feel like you got fucking caught because for a fucking reason.
There's something just like off in your moral code,
because. There is no hesitation. He does not read what the fuck what a violation. And so he reads it, and it's a nice, here's the next feather on your journey. It's not an eagle feather yet. Here's the next feather.
A hawk feather
on your journey, which is what the kid's journey has been the whole episode of like trying to get this eagle feather. And so it's a whole next step.
To the solstice. That's what it is.
So you could, because you just watched the kid go through that, like you can know that, oh, this letter will be a big deal of just because you didn't get the eagle feather today, here's your hawk feather, here's your next step.
You're on your way, buddy. Yeah.
How much that would have meant to him that day in particular.
Right.
And he changes it to...
He'd already held on to the letter for a while.
He changes it to, your dad's trying real hard, you
must forgive
him. I'm not sure what else was on the letter, but that was the gist of it. And it's like, you not only, you tainted the last words of your dying, of your dead friend, and took away his relationship with your son. And I realize it's your son or whatever, but that was a relationship your son had with another adult that he liked and respected. Whether or not you're jealous of that doesn't give you the right to take it away. That was, man, that was the most morally complex and like really interesting. And like you said, he's having fun on the trip. He's, they're racing or whatever, doing thumb wars.
It's,
but you know,
it's a lie. Like it's.
He might even be having fun and trying to do two things at once, but there's always a side motive.
Yeah, yeah, and then we also, and this really didn't break it. We get into one of those surrealist,
so that's
divine intervention moments in the thing. Homeless dude almost steals his fucking wad of money that the Prevost brother gives him.
This is a random weird
and says,
thing.
"Get to Nineveh."
Yeah,
which I was like, That's a Bible thing I've heard yelled at me before.
Yeah.
And I had to look it up. It's from Jonah and the Whale, which makes sense because a few minutes later, out on that boat, he falls off the boat.
So it's hard to tell.
They're fishing and talking. They got their pole set out there, and then all of a sudden one of the lions starts running. And
obviously they've never fucking fished before.
Because talking about people waiting for aliens to unmask in Doctor Who or whatever, they wait on those fishing poles for way too long.
Forever. Like, okay.
But he finally grabs it and is like, I'm the king of the lake.
Yeah.
And gets pulled off that boat. Or no, he falls off backwards.
He just pulls it back on the tension, doesn't let out his drag.
Snaps that rod. But when he hits the water, we were immediately like, that's too big a catfish. That's bigger than the boat.
Yeah.
And like...
I wasn't like some of it. I'm not sure. Some of like, wait, how much of this is real and how much is a metaphor? Right. But that one was like, no, he was under the water for a long time,
and like it swallows him, and there can be an air pocket in like, I don't know how it can't be real. I mean, like it is real in the show, but it's also past belief. Like it's surreal.
No, it's a big fish story of like,
and it's Jonah and the Whale. Like it eats him for a minute, and he has to fucking fight his way out of this fish.
Yeah,
he ends up on the wrong end of the shore of this lake. The kid, thank God, Harrison fires off fucking Roman candles they've got.
Yeah. No, and man doesn't give him credit for saving him there.
No,
but he also calls the Rangers because his dad's been missing for a minute. Like, okay, I think my dad just drowned in the lake, and I don't know what to do about it.
Right.
And the Ranger comes back up and is like, "Hey, we hear there's a man missing," and he's thinking about Bokeem Woodbine.
He's thinking about because we don't know where Bootsy is after the synagogue robbery.
This is the day after the heist. He's just
and Bootsy just vanishes in that fucking synagogue robbery.
Like he just and we don't know, as the audience, we don't know what happened to him either.
I don't know if the rabbi hit him with his car. I don't know if
what I do know is that it was worth a couple seconds to go back and look.
Right, and he doesn't.
And he doesn't because he sucks. Like,
and
because Hampton's not a not a good guy.
And so for a minute he's like, "Oh shit, Bootsy, no, the cop's looking for you." Oh, well, I'm fine. Okay, well, you have a great day.
Honestly,
just leaves.
Him pulling the burglary is not what makes him a bad guy. He needs to pull the burglary. He owes some bad dudes, or at least they think he owes him money because that riot got him out early.
But he somehow thinks he's better than everybody.
But in
a way that makes it okay for him to leave them to their dumb
So he needs this $2,000 to get it done. And what I love about that is that the youngest Prevost brother wants to make a move in the family. And wants his bit magician. Like, he doesn't want the money. Like
no, I want the patent for that.
No, I don't want the money. And like, so even though he has the money, has not solved it. He just risked everything for nothing. It didn't solve his problem.
Yeah.
But what makes him so morally reprehensible is how he's going about doing it and who he's willing to fuck over.
Right. And he's justifying it all in his head.
And I know that Bootsy's been frustrating you through the whole burglary, and like, yeah, he's been kind of a liability, but like, you don't want to go back and just check on your friend.
Right. The one who, I don't know if he got picked up or arrested might flip on you. I don't know.
Right.
Even from a self-serving point, can you not go check on your friend? But
the last episode was the most interesting to me, and also probably the most pointless.
So we had been talking about during all of this that Simone Missick, who is Misty Knight from Luke Cage, the wife, that she's cool, and her backstory of not wanting to go back to housewifeness is great. She was
so I like that all the kids. Einstein is such a weird kid. We didn't mention him, but like,
I hate Einstein. I don't care about his story at all.
Yeah.
The kid drives me insane. He's my least favorite thing on the show.
You pole vaulting, son? Yeah.
Nobody does that.
For a scholarship or no? For like track or like, no? Okay. Like one of like all the things that like, man, no one pole vaults recreationally. That doesn't make sense.
No, it's not a thing.
No, we're gonna make a pool in the backyard, so I have the right resistance to whatever the fuck he wants to do.
It's like he's like, well, don't you work at a municipal pool? Like, yeah, but the water's too warm for what I want.
Yeah. His fucking girlfriend that is like, do you live here?
Right. I did the whole conversation with the dad. Like, okay, I'm just gonna back away from this.
Man, no, he has to take like. No, that was a good dad move. Like, this upsets me, but I can't articulate why. So I'm going to go back and think about this, but I'll be back.
Yeah. But that 7th episode, so we just mentioned Bootsy's gone. and all the stuff with the fish and everything. Like
in that previous episode 6 ends with a boot or a shoe being found in a fireplace, and like I know the last time I called was a false alarm. This old woman, I'm assuming from a previous episode,
of like, I've seen something out the window. It's like, but this time it's for real. There's a woman on the roof. Yeah,
and so I'm not sure what that shoe was, or if that was connected to the mom's story or
I
not.
don't know.
It didn't,
but we sure don't find out in episode 7.
because. And I thought, like, oh man, the mom is so cool. She's been basically like chill the entire time. Like, okay, whatever you're like. And I'm like, man, she has been really chill the whole time up until this episode. I'm like, man, this bitch has been fucking blazed this entire
because
time.
she busts out that coffee can and gets stoned. And then his fucking parole officer shows up while she's high as balls.
Yeah.
To just check the house without him there with her preternatural, like super creepy kid, or with his super creepy kid.
Yeah. How did she get in?
The whole episode
the door didn't open and she was there.
It would be a fun pocket episode. I like the character. I like Simone Missick. She's great. I like Katie Azelton as the across the street neighbor that's just barely fucking hung together. And the whole episode's cool, except that it feels like a pocket. It doesn't continue forward at literally any of the 3 episodes prior that I had. Other than, I mean, I know she wants this job, but like, it feels out of nowhere. And it doesn't resolve the goddamn shoe in the thing.
It ends up with her jumping in that pool, basically. Like, that's the point of that pool, is that she has something to jump into at the end when she's done. Which I guess,
so the son sees mom like have a ha-ha moment,
which is, I guess, is a metaphor for
making a leap.
Something, I guess, like
taking your shot.
I guess, sure,
being you. I don't know. It kills me that this is the episode that kind of lost me, and there's nothing really wrong with it.
It's a fun enough episode.
It's a fun enough episode. It's not what I wanted. It was jarring at this point in the flow. And I know I should watch episode 8 and just see if it picks back up. But like,
I would have threaded through Simone Missick, because she was absent in the other 2 episodes we watched, basically. And I don't know. Her commercial comes to life.
Yes, he keeps hallucinating this coffee woman.
Which I'm like, okay, is this part of the surreal thing, or am I supposed to believe this weed is making her see it? Because someone would have to.
But Katie Azelton also sees it.
But like, someone would have to have laced her weed.
That's not weed. Yeah.
Like, so, and then I'm like, but then Katie Azelton sees it. I'm like, oh wait, so is this?
I think it's just supposed to be bored housewives comparing themselves to the commercials.
Yeah,
and that they all do it.
And this is where surrealist comedy to me is frustrating, because.
That's the episode that suddenly felt like Big Door Prize, of like, it's a magic machine that just appeared one day and puts out cards. I fucking hate that show.
Well, and there's a lot of don't worry about it. And for whatever reason,
Apple loves this shit.
Doctor Who gets away with don't worry about it, and the fact that they say a bunch of science words and like, don't worry about it. And this one, it's more like, wait, how does that work? Is that real? Well, what do you think is like? No,
it brings up the Mark Maron thing of like, am I not allowed to know that? Why would I not be allowed to know that?
And I know that matters more to me than it does to other people. As Targar's like, no, but whether or not it's real matters in a sense of, if this is a metaphor, then it matters differently than if it was literally happening.
Right.
If it's a hallucination, it's different than if it was physically happening.
Yeah, if she's hallucinating, then her character might have like a mental issue to deal with down the road, and that's a real problem in the show that I'll pay attention to. If
it's, and I know it's a subtle distinction, but if it's a hallucination, it's her own mind confronting her with a thing she needs to do it. If it's actual surreal magic, that's the universe confronting her with a thing.
Right. They're different.
They're different. Maybe not by like a huge measure of degree, but enough that it annoys me that I don't know which one it is.
Right.
And I think that was where like the episode, like, oh, the reason this one is bumming me out is because it's the worst one aspect of this. The other ones have had surreal elements.
It's flirting with the surreal. Like, I've been surprised every episode that the surrealness had not triggered that in me. And then it finally tipped its hand too far.
Yeah. Well, the other one was fun because like there was the one episode just starts with a black and white cowboy Indian picture. Like, we're gonna go get them Indians, like
right, fucking, which is on the TV in the background while she's doing laundry.
We don't take your con around here, little feather, and like and he sees like those same two characters later, And I was like, wait, what the fuck? Are they like here? And then like, hey kid, get out of the fucking shot. And they're shooting the...
That was hilarious.
And I was like, oh, okay, so this is actually happening. And that's more of the fun I would like of, you know.
Overall, I found myself liking this show. I shockingly so in Ep 6, honestly. Like, I was like, shit, man, this is great. And then Ep 7 really threw me into like, oh, that's right. I'm afraid this is what the majority of the show is. No. The appleness of the like, but is the magic? I
damn it.
really hate that flavor. I don't know what it is about it that it just hits me wrong of like, quit being, I don't know. I think I also used to like Wes Anderson more than I currently do. Like I haven't seen the last couple of Wes Anderson movies because I just don't care. But there's something to the like magic tweeness of it where I'm like, but just be in the, like, honestly, this is going to sound nuts, but it's a bit of my problem with Duster those first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
What fucking world are we in? And do I need to take this more seriously than a children's book or not?
To me, I don't think the benefits of ambiguity outweigh the risk of audience confusion.
No. Well, because at this point...
Or rarely do.
When I see ambiguity, I don't think, well, these geniuses behind this show know what they're doing, so I'm just in for the ride.
Maybe I'm just cynical now.
I've seen a lot of shitty television, and so if I'm not certain what you're doing, my assumption is that you're not doing it that well.
Yeah.
Because good or bad, I should be sure of what you've done.
Honestly, it's your job to communicate to the audience what the feel of this is. And I feel like, whether or not, kind of like you, like Lady World.
Right.
Are you intentionally making me mad?
I know.
Or accidentally? Like, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Like, you're not communicating your vision correctly is the main failing. I would like this to decree this as, it's been a good run, John Paul. But they had to all have to end sometime.
Yeah.
First one, like, dud out of like a long list of like, I want to say the last
and I mean like a muffled thump. It's not like this thing stunk up the joint.
Well, I mean, we've had, I actually liked some of the worst, like the...
Did the Baxter just hilarious.
Oh my God. So much fun. Like, this was just the too much of a middle of the road of like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I mad that I watched it? In no way. Am I good? Do I feel any way about having watched it?
No.
Not really.
It's fine.
And to me, that's a worse... Coming back with an emotional reaction is worth something, no matter what reaction that is.
Right.
To not react to something is really wasting time.
Yeah. And a lot of money. It's fairly expensive.
Oh my God, so much money.
But that's probably going to wrap it up for us this week.
Hell yeah.
Tune in next week when we talk about...
What are we talking about?
God knows what.
Let us know, Les.
Indeed. Fuck. We don't have anything.
Oh my God, we're rudderless. We're out in the abyss. We don't have any fucking direction. What are we gonna do?
I don't know. I've been steady looking for a show coming on that might be worth it. We might just have to pick a streamer and see what's going on.
Oh no, just off the roulette.
Yeah. I mean, I currently have Acorn TV, so it's going to be that.
I'd rather take a JPV pick again.
Well, I'll tell you it's a JPV pick, and we'll just put one in. John Paul, just roll with it. If Nick messages you, just roll with it.
Don't you lie to me.
Like, oh no, that's what I picked. It's totally it.
All right, well, until next time.
TV Dudes out!
Dreamers are dangerous.
Then consider me dangerous.